Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And it's time to talk about Star Wars, The Acolyte, Episode 3, Destiny. This is a flashback episode where we kind of find out to a degree what happened on the planet of Brennock, where Osha and May comes from, and why there was so much controversy regarding what happened to them when they were young. It was entirely flashback, but we do get some returning characters like Carrie Ann Moss, who comes back in the flashback scene, as well as a couple of other characters as well, like Master Tobin, played by Thomas Baratheon himself, as a young Padawan in this episode as well. Now, before I pass it on to my friend Gaz, and how you doing, Gaz?
I'm doing all right.
Thank you very much. I'm going to quickly tell you how I feel about this particular episode. Now, I watched this episode twice, and I have to admit, the first time I watched it, I wasn't necessarily too impressed. And even after the second time I watched it, there are things that I did find impressive, like the child actresses, who I thought were a lot better than people give them credit for, because they are children at the end of the day, and they are playing dark and light characters as well. And I think they portrayed it very well. But there were some really terrible moments in this in this episode that I thought, wow, like all you're doing is feeding that red pill anti-woke society that salivate over something like this, because they know that they can rip this episode to shreds, because it isn't that great. There are, like I said, I said earlier, there are some okay moments, but that doesn't necessarily salvage this episode. One of the cringiest scenes, and we will talk about this in more detail, is a ceremony scene, which, in my opinion, just made me roll my eyes up and say, "Wow, this is how you're going to do it like this." Felt more Star Trek than Star Wars, if anything, when they did it. Overall, I'm kind of happy that we got this flashback episode early in the series. Then it drops on us, and maybe episode 5 out of 6 or something like that, when we're looking for a culmination. I'm sure more will come from this. I don't think we got all the answers regarding the controversy that was given to us at the beginning of this series by showing us what this episode had to offer. But I'm not necessarily too impressed by it, and we'll see how my friend Bossman feels about it now. Guys?
Okay, it's a piece of shit. All right, and the thing is that I'm really bad because there's potential here to tell a really, really good story. Like, I've never heard of these witches before. They could have given us like more of their life, not go to let's go to straight to what they were talking about. They could have do more like maybe like the decisions that made these sisters drift apart. Maybe like there's something that drifted. They made Ocean wanted to be more Jedi. Maybe there's something that she felt. She felt maybe she had dreams and stuff like that. That's something that we could have thought about, and we don't see any of that. He just wanted to rush it through, just so they would go, "Oh, that's what it's about," and that's what it felt like. It just felt so by the numbers. Like, here is what they did about. Not that we can imagine. It's like, no, I'd rather have done like the things before that we don't see it, or if we do see it, maybe we see it like in little step flashbacks. Because all we'll be told is, one's really naughty and wants to burn the other one alive, and one of them's really nice and wants to join the Jedi. It's like, oh, come on, can we not do any sort of nuance here? And that's the thing that bugged the fuck out of me, is that there's no storytelling here. There's no character arcs. There's no sort of like do one way and that, like, maybe decisions and kind of like, maybe the one is jealous of the other, that she's having these dreams and she's having this like sort of like pull towards the Jedi, and she wants that as well, but she's not having it because she belongs with her sisters and her sister doesn't. There could be that sort of like negating conflicts that comes up, and that maybe like justifies what's going on. That could have been amazing. What happened here was just by the numbers, bland crap of the worst kind, and agree with you 100%, Sam. This is the kind of thing that Nerdrotic and Flaming, the fandom race, and all that stuff salivate over because it justifies their bullshit bigotry.
Yeah, I agree, and yeah, they're loving this, unfortunately, because this is a bad episode, and
yes, a very bad
it
episode.
and but it's nothing to do with agenda or anything like that. It's just a bad episode,
It's bad storytelling.
And unfortunately, it has elements in it that people who go on about anti woke and all of that shit. This is right up their alley. They have found the fodder that they need to maybe make videos about this shit for an entire week until the next episode. Because there were there's some very poorly executed moments. I want to start talking about some of the good things before I start continue talking about some of the bad things.
I think there's some excellent things. Like, for example, the main actor knocked it out of the park again. I mean, like, he's so good. For a guy who doesn't speak, apparently he had to learn English for this role. I couldn't tell. He's so fucking magnetic. Every time he's on screen, I was like, can we have more of him, please? I'm like, and Carrie Moss was fine, and the actor that you were talking about who played, he played Game of Thrones? Is it Tobin Baratheon?
Thomas Baratheon, and he played the character of Padawan Tobin in this episode, and he was Master Tobin in the previous episodes, and they aged him up on purpose because he's obviously a young man still. So, but you see him looking more like his real self in this episode as a Padawan. So,
yeah, that was really good, and I did like aspects of what's the word of the children, like knowing that they have the Force and stuff like that. I did like that bit because I thought, and I do agree with you about the child actress, because usually child actors, they could be really bad or really good. These were fine. These were perfectly serviceable.
Okay, let's get to some comments here. Rick B says it sucked balls. He says it was so woke. The Squid Guy actor I feel sorry for. He deserves better. And yes, this is live.
This is absolutely live.
Regarding the term woke, unfortunately, this is the sort of thing anti-woke people will jump on. And yeah, there are some elements in this, but once again, I always told the anti-woke people, if you replace certain aspects of it that doesn't make it work, for instance, you got a whole covenant of
white people.
Yeah, but you got like a whole covenant of women here, and they're all it's very diverse, not just in with human races, but aliens as well. So if you converted those people to say white guys, yeah, and maybe made Osha and May, maybe Timmy and John, yeah, would that improve things? Would that make it better? Because honestly, it wouldn't. The episode would just crap on its own, regardless of certain elements in it that makes no difference to the overall episode.
Like the worst bit for me, I don't know about you, Sam, is like they go from literally like holding hands and do this little weird thing. It's like we're two spirits, but we're actually one, and they turn around in a circle and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's bad writing, man.
And then she goes to that to go into full murder hobo, and I was like, what the actual fuck? I must have missed like entire reels of things. Of like, where did that come from? It's like it's one thing not to agree with your sister and the decisions you make. It's until another going, I'm going to kill you. It's like, where the fuck did that come from?
Okay. We got some comments going on here. Yes, it is like we just don't say it's bad because it's woke. Yeah, well said. Cousin Cheetah. My theory, Clementina Valenci, welcome to the stream. My theory is the Sith is learning magic from May and learning from May, or maybe teaching May, and or teaching her to. Okay, I get you. I agree with that. Sorry. Let's get to the comments here. One sec. You can play all the mental gymnastics because of woke writers. Once again, if you replace everyone with white guys, would that make this any better? If all these white guys were doing this one and two of many and all this shit, would that improve things? Because it wouldn't. It would still fucking be cringe. Become a Sith. Yeah, I get you, Clementina. Cousin Cheetah says, I don't get woke vibe from this. It's just a mere episode. And I said, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because I thought the first 2 episodes were slightly above average, and it still had similar elements regarding casting to this episode. You know, but anyway, till later on, Plagueis will learn to make Anakin. Yeah.
What in the goddamn hell? So I thought the whole thing about Anakin was that he's made by the Force himself, not by flaming.
Well, there are
Sith magic.
There are, like, because these things have been expanded upon. Everything doesn't need to be super. It wasn't super gay, dude.
It wasn't gay at all.
Let me explain. I told people this on our chat earlier. If Themyscira, the planet, sorry, the place where Wonder Woman comes from, if that was made today, people will be calling that woke. But it wasn't. We can have a land where all these strong, independent, Amazonian warrior women can come from. No one considered that woke. Woke is a recent phenomenon that people like you, Rick B, have fallen for hook, line, and sinker.
It's a drift,
we've had woke forever in cinema and TV. Only now, when people need to complain about something because they feel so fucking emasculated, that they're complaining about fucking wokeism. It's ridiculous. Clementina Valenci says, with this type of dark magic, with the Sith you're talking about, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. That Frozen Jedi was stupid.
Yes, it was.
What Frozen Jedi?
The bit where I think it was like you saw it when into the fire and stuff like that. One of them was frozen. It was stupid.
Really? I missed that. Yeah, the writing does suck. You can complain about that.
But it has nothing to do with being woke. It has to do with bad storytelling.
Yeah, it's bad storytelling. The writing does suck. I agree with you there, Rick B.
But it has nothing to do with woke. Why is it super gay? Yeah, exactly. Why is it super gay?
Well, there was. I think that the mothers were kind of same sex, but regardless, who else they're gonna bang? They're fucking women, all on the same on the same place. I'm sure, like, stuff like that is supposed to happen regardless. The showrunner said themselves, "This is the gayest Star Wars ever. This Doctor Who, Star Trek. It's all." Yeah, because it's about time gay people get some representation, dude. And
yeah.
I can understand them saying after watching this episode, but why should that bother you? Like, what matters the most? It could be as gay. It could be those gay as shit. There could be fucking rainbow planets. Yeah, what matters the most is the writing. So I don't give a fuck about the gayness. The gayness is not the problem. It's the writing.
Is it a good story?
Yeah.
If you, yeah.
Okay, well, sorry. One second. These comments are flying right now. If you want this, say writing said fine, but don't say it's bad because exactly, cousin Cheeto. Exactly.
You guys think that who's Queer Mare? Who's Queer Mare?
You guys think Queer Mare is a Sith?
Who's Queer? Who's Queer? Yeah.
Please remind me, Clementina.
Yeah. I didn't know who. Are you talking about the? Was she the one with? Was she the black lady?
Is it the black lady, the black mother, or the Zabrak mother?
Yeah,
I mean, apparently, these witches, they haven't really got like a label. They're not the witches of Dathomir.
Oh, right, yeah.
They're not. So,
the guy from Squid Game. No, I don't.
Oh, his name is Soul. I think the director was saying that to troll people like you, Rick. But yeah, exactly, probably.
So thinking the guy from Squid Games. No, I don't think he's a Sith.
No, I don't think he's a Sith. I think there's a possibility. There's a possibility there could be a Sith in their ranks, but the Asian guy is Soul. And by the way, I know this sounds a bit weird, but I was wondering why they called him Soul, and is that because the actor's Korean and the capital city is Seoul? I'm not sure.
No, but, it's SOL.
Yeah, I know, but it sounds the same, doesn't it? I was thinking that,
Soul.
Narrow-minded Americana right there, but I could be wrong. No, Clementina. Okay, who are you talking about, please?
Oh, I don't. She's talking about the barman, the weapons dealer. Whatever he is, the weapons dealer.
The weapons dealer.
Yeah, do you remember the guy who's a terrible actor in the first 2 episodes?
Yeah.
You look
him.
just like her. Yeah, he's not a Sith. No,
I don't think that. But if they pull a switcheroo on him, he was the guy all along.
Can I say something about this? Right.
I don't want to watch a drag show at night. It doesn't mean I hate drag shows.
It isn't over-representation, Rigby. It's just representation. Okay? I know this is going to be weird too. Gay people exist in real life. You know some. They just don't come out to you because they know that you're a bigoted idiot.
Rick B, you watch me every fucking day. I'm bisexual, dude. Why doesn't that bother you? And I don't want to fuck you either, mate. You know what I mean? But why? Like, shit. Like, I exist. We exist. Trust me, we exist.
Exactly. You probably know some.
You don't love the gays if you have that much of an issue with them. The other one.
Yeah.
The guy who was with me. Okay, yeah, the guy who worked at the apothecary.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't hate them. All right, well then stop complaining about them, man. Because all that matters, the show could be wall to wall fucking gay. All that matters is the writing. If the writing is bad, it doesn't matter about gay people. The same way it wouldn't matter if a show was wall to wall straight, which most of them are, and it was crap either because nobody would be complaining about straight people in the fucking show.
Right.
They'd be just complaining about the writing.
It could have like. In the Jedi Temple, it could have glory holes in it. I wouldn't give a fuck as long as it had a good story attached to it. That's what we care about: a good story, good storytelling. That isn't what we're getting here. We're getting by the numbers, paint by the numbers. Here's one who's good. Here's one's bad, and it's going to turn out that something was done that was evil according to Jedi, and they had to slaughter them all. That's what's going to happen. I'm calling it now, and let's see if I'm right. Oh, I am going to be right. Right? I can see it coming a mile away. It's like. It's like seeing a pitch that's been going like this for an hour. I can see it coming. I'm going to hit it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Look, we need to start talking about the show instead. Let's get a couple of comments in. Yeah. You act like you want to watch a drag show every night so you can bitch about it. Yeah, I agree. Dude, you're the one being the victim by complaining, man. I'm not complaining about this shit. You are. I have a problem with the writing with this show. I'm not complaining about fucking non-white people and non-men and fucking non-straight people. You're the only one who does that, dude.
But nobody does that.
It's not representation. It's reality.
I'm a white guy. He's Sam here's Asian. We're friends, even though we don't live in the same city. God's sake, we're representative.
Dude, I live in London.
People like him exist. What the fuck?
I live in London. Spot the white guys a reality here, mate. You know what I mean? But and obviously everyone looks like me. Everyone looks like everyone. Like you got the whole fucking globe in this city. You got the whole fucking globe.
We're getting crying emojis. I think we should move on from this.
Yeah.
So let's move back to the story.
We're going to get back to the comments a little bit later. One more. Get to the show. Yeah, exactly. We're going to get back to the comments a little bit later. Let's start talking about the episode. And by the way, lots of people on Twitter watching us right now. Please join us on YouTube and get your comments in.
Yeah. So what I'll say to this is that I wanted more of that witch coven or whatever it is. I was intrigued by that because the thing is that we didn't get enough time, and I just felt the Russian shit as usual. It's like they have to spoon feed us everything. It's like no. If you're going to show me the witches, show me their lives. Like, show me how they exist, how they get food, how they do this, and maybe during that we can go into the story of, as I was saying before, how these two sisters, who were literally like holding hands, began to drift apart. Maybe because, as I said, one of them was having dreams about the Force and being called and stuff like that, and having dreams of the future that happens when you're a Deadeye. She doesn't have to be a Mary Sim. She just has to be in touch with the Force enough that she starts having a dream of the future. And maybe one of the dreams of the future she has is that something happens to her sister.
Well,
oh my god!
Well, like the good twin out of the two, Osha, she doesn't seem to be as powerful as May. May seems to be a lot stronger than Osha does, but Osha, obviously being the more pure of heart, is the person the Jedi are willing to take on board, because May seems quite self-destructive. And I really want to talk about these two girls because they were absolutely fantastic, especially May. And I mean, Osha is like this sad girl who wants to live a life, and she wants to get away from her people, because she's just stuck there. They're the only two kids, her and her sister, the only two kids on this planet. There's no other children to play with. They're kind of being almost designed, and they have been, because there is some controversy regarding, and I don't mean outside of the show, within the show itself, there is some deviancy regarding how they were made. You know, because
I mean,
the mums were talking about that. They were hiding that.
They hinted at that.
Yeah.
Now, part of me thinks this is like there's some sort of like magic concoction. Is maybe some technology involved, maybe like some sort of like DNA splicing stuff like that too. Because
and that could explain Anakin, by the way. That could explain Anakin as well, how he was born, because there's so much to it. But having these two girls, one of them wants to get away from May and wants to do her own thing, whilst May wants to be with Osha all the time. They have this sort of little song they have for each other as well. But May is almost so possessive that it's making her quite evil in a way and aggressive. And she ends up, when they do that ceremony, which was honestly the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, do you know what? I almost turned it off. That's how bad it was. I mean, it's like, look, I should feel like I understand like the torment these people go through, and they're just like, I'm just willing blank to stand here while this woman says a lot of like spiritual stuff. I mean, what? And by the way, when it comes to spiritual stuff, I'm usually on board with it because I'm fascinated by other people's religions and stuff like that. But when I'm like finding this hard to buy, you know, you kind of fucked up, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing is that like, because this album felt a bit like Wicca or like pagan inflected, like that's the sort of like, because that's the obvious, what's the word, parallels. It's like the Wiccan / pagan practices being persecuted by the Christians and what they
druids and all of that sort of shit.
Yeah. And what they considered heresy. So that was an obvious parallel there. I thought, that should be something that should be really powerful. That we put for that maybe like Jedi aren't the all good people they present to. Sometimes they can be overtaken by zealous fury and stuff like that, which happens to even the most hardened and good religious person. And was like, they could have delved into that, and he didn't delve into any of that. He just delved into just a total switch, 180 switch from one character, and one of the main female characters dies off bloody screen. I'm like, I barely know the mother character, the black lady with the weird thing. I don't know who the name of the actress, I'm afraid. I mean, I wanted more of her because she seemed pretty decent.
It's weird in a way because, personally, with the direction of this show, I wasn't really too fussed about the history, and I want to get more into the Sith just generally. That's my problem with the writing of this show. Like, all of this stuff I find so boring and just it's just not necessary. Like, I came to watch a show on the fucking Sith, and we're getting all of this shit, you know, which is the wrong direction as far as I'm concerned. All right, maybe. Go on.
I disagree with you because it could have worked, as I said, if they did what I've been saying, which is like tell a story of like the Force calling them in two different ways, and like, you know, and it breaking them apart. That could have been fascinating because then we could learn more like the Force can because it's literally called Destiny. Where was the fucking Destiny? Where was it? I mean, like, because it just like. For reasons he's never explained. And by the way, you don't have to explain everything. But when a character has clear motivation, I want to do this, show me why. You can't just have a kill going, I want to do this.
Let's talk about these witches a little bit then, yeah? So what I found out watching this episode on a couple of occasions is that they don't come from this planet. They've been exiled onto this planet.
Yes.
And so then the planet being Brennok, this planet, you know, like, regarding some similarities to Tatooine, instead of having two suns, it has two moons, and obviously there's twins. Well, one of them happens to be Luke Skywalker, but both twins are on this one. They have special abilities and all of that. And you missed a really good start, by the way. And so we have this thing called threads as well, which is what the witches call the Force. They don't call it the Force. Their term for this unique power is called threads as well. So let's just get to some comments here. I'm giving my opinion, Tito. I'm not in charge of the show, so I can't derail it. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, look, you have an opinion. I just don't agree with it, Rick B. The play. And by the way, welcome, Lowdown Show. Remember, mate.
Vegas.
Remember, Lowdown. You have to make sure you contact me before Saturday so I can get you involved in our Clash of the Castle stream on that particular day. And Plagueis had the power to, yeah. If it is Plagueis, I'll be shocked. By the way, who used that Sith? I'm late from start.
Plagueis isn't until much later than this.
Yeah. By the way, like I said, Daniel Vance, watch this from the beginning, man. We were going ape shit. The lowdown. It was too long for the witch scene. Should have been shorter. Yeah. When the Jedi showed up, and there was a bit of hostility when the Jedi showed up as well. Call the Force the Fred. Yeah, I know it's weird. I mean, they're going like this, the Fred, but that's what the witches of Dathomir will call in the Force. So it is. It's
Yeah, by the way, I disagree though, Dan. There wasn't enough of the witches because I wanted more of them. I wanted to understand their ecosystem more. I wanted to how they saw the Force, like what side of the Force they saw up, because I got none of that.
Sorry, boss, but for me, once they started doing that ceremony, you know what I mean, the power of one, the power of many. Oh, that
was cringy bullshit. I think that was a bad decision.
I think to myself, oh shit, here we go. NerdTubers going to make about 20 million videos on that alone.
Yeah, having that as a gift and stuff.
Yeah, the Sith is May's mum. Her name means resurrection. Oh, so there's something to bring to the table. Actual Sith name, resurrection. Fair enough. And once again, there's lots of people watching us on Twitter right now. Please join us here on YouTube and ask us some questions. Yeah. Look, once the Jedi do come in and they interrupt that ceremony, and May gets marked, by the way, not Osha, only May does, which I don't know what that means to a degree. But the Jedi, they're so, it's weird in a way because they like to say that they don't take children, but they do. And they know that these two girls are young and force sensitive, and they want to bring them into the Jedi Order. And it was just a really weird moment, but you could tell Osha was desperate to join. And May doesn't want to join. She doesn't want to leave and all of that. And then they do that test, which Osha tries to sabotage the Jedi test, but then Sol picks up on the fact that they tried to self-sabotage and realizes that's not the case and brings them into the Order and says, look, I'll happily train you. Then Osha goes back to her home, and that's when May says, I will kill you. And that's fucking deep for a little girl to say something like that.
Yeah. That's what it was like 180. They're like really close, really, really close. And then all of a sudden it's like, not I'll miss you. It's like I'll kill you. It's like, what the fuck?
No, Bossman. Sometimes I know they're sisters, so it's a little bit different. But you can be close to someone, and you can be super possessive. You know what I mean? You can be, and so much so that if I can't have you, nobody can. And so often, unfortunately, you hear stories of guys, and this is from men, doing harm to their partners, but they don't want them to leave them. And for May, this is like not saying it's her partner, but this is somebody she doesn't want her to leave. Like if I can't have you, nobody can. If you leave me, I'm all alone. She doesn't want Osha to leave. She hasn't got the same ambitions for Osha. Her ambitions is to stay with the witches, whilst Osha wants to move on. And so she refuses to give Osha what she wants, which is why she wants to kill her. But there was a moment when look. One of the other issue I had with this is this whole fucking place they're living in is pretty much made of stone. Yeah. And how the hell was this fucking place being set on fire? I just don't understand how they could burn this place down when everything is made of rock.
I know I'll use it as a bloody Jedi book. It's like that's going to burn for a little bit. It's not going to set the whole fucking place on fucking fire. And that's the thing. Yeah. It's like, did she lace it with kerosene or flaming gasoline before she put it on fire? It's like it was like going go. Because that would have made more sense logically. It's like
I was thinking,
fucking hell.
That see, these are the things that bother me if Rick B's still with us. Like these are the things that should bother you more than fucking gays. You know what I mean? It should be stuff like that. Like this place is made out of rock, and it's somehow set on fire. Like, it's just so stupid. And
And it starts going up. Poof. It's like no kerosene, no flaming nitrogen. I guarantee if you set a flaming book on fire and don't put any sort of lid, it's gonna just burn itself out in what, a minute, 2 months.
Yeah. Let's get to some comments here. No coincidence, the mother has a yin yang at the center of her forehead tattoo. Two dots forever separated by one continuous. It doesn't look like a yin yang, but okay, but fair enough. I'll have another look at her forehead. She seemed to be mind controlled by the other mother, who seemed to be mind controlled. Low down. Cheeto says, "How does May think anything? How does May think anything's a Jedi's fault except showing up?" Oh, sorry, Cheeto. You're gonna have to rephrase that, mate.
I know what he means.
What was he saying?
He said, like, why does May think the Jedi's are responsible when all they've done is showed up? So, like, what's the connection? Like, does she have any proof? Did she? I think what he's getting to is, did she witness something that we didn't see in the actual show?
Oh, regarding everyone dying and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's what he's saying.
Okay. That's a place of Sith. That place is a Sith temple underneath. I heard. Oh,
no,
okay.
No, because the witches don't seem to have like an alignment, so they don't seem to be good. They don't seem to be bad either.
Yeah, but I did hear that they might take from dark side, but they don't necessarily like are Sith. Like it's just they might do rituals where they might cut an animal's throat or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Or
the more I think they're more grey than everything else.
I get you. You can see the remnants of it at the very start as they leave the tree at the lowdown.
Right.
Okay, so I'm starting to get a bit lost here. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. It's fancy saying that you can see the remnants of the Sith temple.
Okay, there's more to this than fire and how did all the. Yeah, I agree with you there. I want to get to that. I want to get to that a little bit in a sec. It was laced with metachlorians, and metachlorians are very. I'm sure you're taking the piss. Flammable metachlorians.
What's a metachlorian? Sorry.
I was surprised when Tobin was taking the sample of Osha. He never said the metachlorian word once. May wanted to kill Osha. May took a walk with the other mother before the fight happened. She did. She was screaming and shit like that. Now, when Osha escaped through that, I think it was like a garbage chute or something like that in that room. It was crazy. There was no way of contacting people, but fair enough. She escaped through there, and then as she's walking along, there's a vent above her head, and you hear all this screaming, and all these women are screaming, and something happened there. Something bad had happened to these women, and it's not because of the fucking fire, in my opinion, either.
No.
And that is something that has been left up in the air. Osha then eventually reaches the power room or whatever, and there's a bridge which is now being broken, which was connected, and Osha and May are on either side of that bridge, and they're blaming each other for what's happened. And as Soul comes to save them, May's bridge breaks and she falls down, and then Osha bridge breaks, but Soul is able to save her and takes her. And then as they are escaping this temple, this witch's temple, there's bodies of these witches everywhere. I was about to say Jeffrey's Tube, by the way. The bodies of these witches everywhere. Now there was no, from what I saw, maybe closer inspection in another episode or this episode, it looked like there was any lightsaber burns on these women. But
it could have been that the Force was used to bring down things on them.
Yeah, there's a possibility. So I just and the Lowdown said this earlier. I just feel that there's more to what happened than just the fire burning and killing everyone. And honestly, the way the fire was done was really poorly executed in the first place, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully in later episodes. If it is just what we saw on this episode, I'll be very disappointed. At the same time, no more flashback episodes, please. Give us
Yes,
that
agreed.
juicy fucking Sith with that big red glow stick.
Agreed.
Okay.
I mean, like
yeah, go on.
it just, yeah. As I said, this was just a terrible episode, and as I said, it's the point now that if the next episode isn't any good, I might have to start saying, do you know what, Star Wars needs to either get someone else in who can actually write it better, or die off for a few years, because this is not good storytelling, and they need somebody who knows good storytelling. And I don't know who's out there who could do it, and that's the sad thing, is that I'm trying to think of a guy who could do. There's people who would love to do it, like Chris Nolan, or like anybody who's a good director could do this. It's just like, yeah.
Look, the problem is as well, though. Unfortunately, it's bigger than Kathleen Kennedy. It's just Disney itself. Disney can't do or doesn't want to do
That's
what
storytelling.
the real dark, disturbing storytelling, and it can be at times possible, because if you watch X-Men '97, they have gone there. They can do that. They can grow up with their audience. But the problem with Disney, they don't like fucking growing up with their audience generally. You have the exception to the rule, but other time they just want to keep everything so fucking mediocre and PG. They're doing some really deep stories. It's just very difficult for them.
But surely X-Men '97 should have been the aha moment, because X-Men '97 sold gangbusters for them. It did loads of business, to the fact that they've greenlit a new series.
Yeah, well, X-Men '97 has come out recently, and so all these other shows came out just at the same time or before them, or were made during them. So now X-Men '97 is shown the way. It might take a year or two until other shows are realizing we need to follow this particular blueprint. Let's read some comments. May wanting to kill Osha. May took a walk with the other mother before the fight. I think I read that already. Yeah, I remember that. I'm not saying that they're Sith. I think a Sith person came to them and I think that's a possible. I think they have a relationship with dark side users, and once again, like the Force and the Threads, or whatever you want to call it, it's more than just the Sith and the Jedi. Like there are other factions out there that use this power that are not Sith and Jedi. Yep, the Jeffries tube. That's what I was thinking. Exactly that. They're Star Trek fans for you. All that advanced technology, and they're not invented fire protection. Well, like I said, Daniel, once I just found it really hard to accept that the whole fucking place is made of rock and stone, and it was somehow flammable. yeah, there was that tunnel. Yeah, Osha entering the tunnel and seeing herself was akin to Luke entering the cave and seeing himself.
Interesting.
After he chopped off Darth Vader's helmet, you mean? Yeah. Honestly, it was serviceable for me. 5 out of 10. Yeah, we'll get to the market. We are personally going to get to our markings in a second.
Yeah.
I still think the Jedi are involved in
yes, I do.
I agree to some degree, because obviously it made Tobin want to kill himself. Otherwise, is the Padawan seeing redemption from May and ends his life in episode 1.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think it was episode 2, by the way. So just to culminate with regarding the end of this episode, Osha is with the Jedi, and Soul tells her, "I'm really sorry. Everyone you love is dead." And don't worry, I'll take care of you, and you're going to be my Padawan. And so the Jedi are thinking, great result here, and then May, somehow she survived that fall. I would love to have seen how she survived it, but she's out in the open.
The Force.
And she's I guess. And she's, like I said, I think she's obviously stronger in the Force. I mean, she still uses the Force now, whilst Osha tried to use the Force when her bloody ship was crashing, and she couldn't even bloody pull to her droid. But regardless, and that was in the first episode, I believe. But regardless of all of that, Uh, we kind of see what made May so angry that everyone's dead, everyone's left her, she's all alone. Is turning her more evil than she already naturally was. So it's just a catalyst to her personality. Whilst Osha was always a good person, and being with the Jedi is just going to be an extension of that to a degree.
But I think the thing is that because I think that she doesn't have control of her emotions properly. She's still angry with Osha, and that's what's keeping her from using the Force correctly. Because the whole point of the Force is that you have to be in control. You know, like I know that
Yeah,
Darth Vader had the anger, but every time he used the Force, he was in control of it. You know,
yeah.
like,
Well, look, it depends how you want to look at it because Darth Sidious said, Palpatine said, I can feel your anger. It gives you focus. Like rage and stuff like that. I mean, the dark side of the Force. That's what they're all about. When the more upset you are, I mean, they get that they want people to be upset and angry all the time, which is why Palpatine left Vader in the state he was after the fight on Mustafar. He could have fixed him up a lot better, but to make him in constant pain and have no limbs and be a machine, and he was like anger personified. Vader was, because of the state he was in, and that made him so powerful at the same time. And same with May, like she's obviously felt hard done by. She wasn't necessarily the favorite daughter. She got left behind. She wanted to stay with the witches. All the witches are dead. Now she's all alone. She's angry. She's got an issue with the Jedi as well. And there's so many aspects of her characteristics to make her more angry. I'm really worried here because it's made me realize, oh no, what happens if they give May a redemption arc? Because they love fucking giving baddies redemption
yeah,
arcs. That
yeah,
yeah,
and they shouldn't do them. It's like sometimes you just do things so bad that you can't get. I mean, like with Vader, I get it. He was supposed to be the chosen one, but his care for that makes sense, and it was his anger that drove him to the other side. I get it. But with this, yeah, I totally get it. If she was responsible for the deaths, there is no redemption arc. She should cut her open, and that should be what opens up her force powers. There you go. I just wrote you a better story.
look, there's an Inquisitor who was in the Obi-Wan show who got a redemption arc. I didn't like it.
No.
It's honestly, why did they have to do these things? Ben Solo getting a redemption arc, Kylo Ren. I wasn't a fan of that either. I personally wish he was the main villain. They didn't have to bring back Palpatine, but they couldn't help themselves because they're just shit writers. And now they might do a redemption arc here. I mean, it's okay to do it initially once or twice, but once everyone starts getting a redemption arc, it just takes away from it all. Like people sometimes just need to not get redeemed. Good point, Daniel. By the way, from cousin Cheeto. I bet the Wookiee burned the temple down. Wookiees and talk. I don't think that. I think you're having a laugh.
All right.
I,
So
I, I don't know the television. Look, I think personally, I think there might have been a battle between the witches and the Jedi, whilst the things
yes, I
were
did notice that.
and I think maybe the witches might have started it, but the Jedi unfortunately made sure they finished it when they could have been a lot more diplomatic, and they didn't want to be, and I think that's what kind of happened. Lowdown. Another question is, how did Aisha know how to
The
draw the
Force.
Jedi symbol in
The
her
Force.
notebook before the
I reckon
Jedi arrived?
as I said, I reckon she had dreams. I reckon she is in touch with the Force. I just think that there's some emotional thing that's stopping her getting from using the Force as well as she could do. Um, coming back this time because I'm getting pissed off talking about this. I'm
Yeah,
trying not. I'm trying not to get mad at
kidding,
this.
kind of. Yeah, yeah. I thought so. All right. I'm gonna give this episode. Look, I watched it twice, and there was just I just felt like this was a pointless episode. You talk about filler. This was it.
This was polyfiller.
Like I we um uh, I just they just didn't need to do episodes like this. Like, give us what the fans want. Now, as I said earlier, I thought the child actresses were great. I really thought they were really good, and I think people should give them a lot of credit because they were probably the best part about this. I know they're trying to give us this sort of murder mystery whodunit, and nobody loves a mystery whodunit more than I do. But sometimes the elements need to work in the right way, and I have no problem even doing it in Star Wars. But this is not what I want in this particular show. This is not what I was looking for to a degree, and I just want some more fucking Sith. I mean, I feel really, really stupid saying all of this sort of stuff, but damn, this was a bad episode. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. What really ruined this episode for me was all this sort of like rituals and stuff like that. I don't really give a shit about these witch sisters too much, even though like I wish they weren't even.
I wasn't given enough. I don't think we were given enough reason to care.
And I just thought this was a pointless episode.
Agreed.
And I think with some of the additional characters and actresses' performances and all of that, and regarding the storyline, like there's so much unnecessary fluff here and filler and bollocks. It just 4 out of 10, and that's a really generous 4 out of fucking 10, by the way. Gaz,
out of 10, I'm going to give this a. Do you know what? I'm going to give it a 1 because I fucking hated every bit about this. This could have been so much better. This could have like bled into how things the Force drove these sisters apart and stuff like that. Didn't do any of that. It was just boring by the numbers trash. And we'll give Nerdrotic and flaming the Fandom Mace and those sort of knobheads flaming fodder to go, oh, this is what does. Hollywood is woke. Fucking that sort of shit. And I'm sorry, this is not good enough. Disney, get your fucking act together. Sorry.
Yeah, stop feeding the very people that hate you. Stop, like, there's no look. I have no problem. You can make a whole show, gay as fuck, all the fucking women in the world, not a single fucking white dude in it. I have no fucking problems with any of that. Just make it right. Just do better writing, better performances, make things make sense a little bit. You can make it as woke. I am 100% down with the woke. I love fucking woke. X-Men 97, The Boys, House of the Dragon. These are very, very popular woke shows, and nobody would want to fucking admit. Woke can be really good when done right, and woke can be really shit, and which feeds the people who are anti-woke. And right now, they are feasting on this episode. Unfortunately, they really are. They are feasting on this episode. Okay. I'm going to read some comments here. I agree. Soul's in the Night Sisters Temple for what reason? Yeah, exactly. Like there could have been some sort of showdown. This was a bad filler. If it was a filler, yeah, I agree.
It was bad. Just in general, never mind bad filler. It was just bad.
Actually, if you remember the trailer, it shows the cookie attacking. Yeah, I think he meant Wookiee. The Wookiee. Yeah. The Wookiee had black eyes. Yeah, I want to look. For a long time, I used to call him the cookie, but I didn't. And maybe I might start doing that myself. I might start doing that, but I like having a play on words. Weird Al Yankovic being my idol, by the way. It's a filler. I give it a 3 out of 10. Fair enough. I was going to give it a 7, but they made Gaz mad 5. Part of the part of Ginger we played by Bossman today.
I don't know if I played Ginger. I must be playing somebody who wants better television.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So out there in YouTube land, let us know what you think. You got anything more to add, Gab, before I wrap things up?
Please make the next episode better than this.
Don't go back in time with the next episode, please.
No.
And if we do have to flashback, make it very minimal so we're connecting the dots, not having a whole episode dedicated to it.
Let's not have an episode where that night sister is giving somebody a blowy and then having to split it into that fake black woman's pussy or something like that. Like I don't want it.
All right.
But I'm not saying this. Like that's the sort of thing I'm expressed to you. It's just like, come on, let's just make it a good story. Like, sorry, I'm just pissed off. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I understand your frustration, but let us know what you think out there in YouTube land. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are, without that, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. And if you've forgotten, the name is NerdTube. Remember it.